Okay.
Yeah. Let me know when you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, I'm able to see your screen now.
Okay. Here in the Salesforce CRM, and now we are going to discuss the topic one. What is the cloud computing? Yeah. Here I can give a brief introduction or a definition about the cloud computing. Generally, cloud refers it's an remote hosting system. What mean can I say is like what are the networks, what are the servers they are hosted. It is we can access remotely by using an internet connection. So the medium for accessing the cloud is like the internet, the mainly. So whatever the software and the hardware and the infrastructure, whatever you are accessing, it is purely remoted and it is hosted somewhere else, and you are consuming the services from the other part of the system. For example, here I have given a simple definition like it's a general term used to describe a new class of network-based computing that takes place over the internet. So it means like whatever the applications you are developing and whatever the things you are going to develop, it is purely based upon it is purely based on the cloud, and it is mainly on the internet. And whatever the applications you are deploying, it is also based upon it is also it is over the internet only. So everything whatever you are accessing and everything whatever you are doing, it is purely on the internet computing what you are doing. So internet using the internet for communication and transport provides the hardware and software networking services to the clients. And one more thing is like these platforms hide the complexity details of the underlying infrastructure from users and applications by providing very simple graphical interface or API, which is nothing but an application program interface. For example, here in the Salesforce.com, there is a platform called Force.com. Force.com is a platform where you can customize your own things, and if you are having any idea to develop some of the new projects, you can go and develop there. Just we need to access the Force.com platform through via URL, and we can access the resources provided by the Force.com. So this means I can say the what are the native languages we are using to develop the project, or what are the things is everything hosted on the cloud itself. And from cloud we are using the
Okay, so
resources.
post.com is one of the.
So yeah,
Sorry, what is post.com? Post.com is one of the URL for accessing Salesforce too.
no, it's not an URL. It is a platform. It is a platform where it provides the native languages like Visual Forces, like Apex languages. So on top of
Oh,
it,
it is for maintaining the metadata then?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah. On top of
So it
it,
is purely for
says
metadata. So we don't have any actual data sitting in the post.com then.
no, no,
Okay.
yeah. And coming to this one, in addition to this one, what is the platform provides other than these services? Like you can, yeah, I think you can hear in two basic words regarding this. What is the on-premise and what is the on-demand? I'll just give you a little bit difference between those one. What is the on-premise version? What we are currently using, and what is the on-demand? If you want to start a new project in the current situations, apart from the Salesforce, like you need to buy in software. For example, I think you are working in Informatica.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to buy the Informatica software licenses. So you have to install in the current servers, and from the current servers you have to give the connection to the local LANs, and you are accessing in a single systems. I think, right? Is it wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the process. This whole process will go for, and for the setup itself, it will take some 20 to 30 days of the process. And on top of it, you are going to build the applications. And if any server patches are there, and if any configuration changes or something needs to be updated from the Informatica, like you need to shut down all the services, and you have to go for the patching process, and you have to again restart the services. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what this on-premise is doing currently. But in the on-demand services, whatever the network, like whatever the infrastructure, whatever the application, what is the software, everything is provided by the cloud services. We are accessing those cloud services just by using an URL. And I can say like using an URL in the sense like whatever the servers are hosted in different locations, the accessing point will be our local system or our mobile or our iPad. So we can access the data from anywhere to anywhere. So that is mainly the main advantage of these on-demand services. So we don't need any setup
I
of
have a
the.
question on this one. Like,
Yes, yes, you can ask.
how do we maintain those datas? Like on in on-premise service, we have backup systems, servers, and everything. So in case something goes down, the other server will pick up. So we have some kind of balancing.
Yes, yes.
But in on-demand service, how do we balance and maintain those kind of data in cloud?
Yeah, there is in Salesforce. I'll
But
give you.
I just don't have
No, no, it's not like that. I'll give you a brief example in Salesforce how it looks like, and I'll show the URL also. And if you go to this trust.salesforce.com, this is the URL in which you see the what are all the instances, server instances of Salesforce is using, and how what is the uptime and the downtime for these servers. If you see this one, this is the trusted salesforce.com, and this is the status of the servers, like in what are the regions it is having, the different kinds of servers. For
okay.
example, yeah, for example, these are the kinds of servers like in the North America and the Central Americas, they're having different kinds of servers. And whenever you are registering with the Salesforce, like, or whenever you want to buy an licensing version of the Salesforce, they'll provide instances from these any of the servers. Like these are from the NA region.
Okay.
You can differentiate like Americas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from the APAC regions, there are a few more servers are there from AP0 and CS1, CS31, and from Europe region, we are having some more servers are there. And here in the cloud computing, what they'll, sorry?
What is the kind the checkbox implicates that is the server is on, up and running?
Yes, yes. If you see this green color tick mark, these are all the available servers. If they want to, if there is anything going on the service degradation, it will show the symbol and service disruption. That means if you are not at all accessing the server, not able to accessing the server, it will goes like this one. And there are maintenance updates. If you see in the right side of my screen, this is the calendar. In this calendar, you can see when and where the maintenance will be done.
Oh, okay.
For example, one second, I'll just move this go to meeting link somewhere else. Yeah, November 6th, there is an instance refresh, planned start time at 7:30 IST, and what are the related instances? EU7 and the EU9, and these are the servers they are going to refresh. And if you want to more details about that one, you can see what is the availability and what is the planned time and all these things.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one more thing in the cloud computing or in the on-demand services, you can say there are multiple replications of the data what we are creating. For example, it is a back-end process, and these kind of resources they won't. I mean, I can say like they won't exposure how they are replicating it all. But in the back-end process, whatever the data we are creating, it will be replicated. And the one more advantage is like it is a pay for use and as needed elastic, scale up and down in the capacity and the functionality. A pay per use in the sense like, for
Yeah,
example,
I understand.
yeah, I think you can understand like what are the licenses we are going to buy. We are only paying for those resources, and what are the types of features we need to use. We just go and use those features only.
Okay.
Yeah. The hardware and the software services are available like general public enterprises, corporations, and the business market. So, what are the for which areas it will support the services? This is for the public, general public solutions, and the enterprise solutions, and the corporate solutions, and the business markets. Like if any company wants to do for a B2B marketing, this cloud computing is also available for doing this one. And yeah, what is the summary? Summary of this one is like it is an term used to refer an internet-based development centers. Like I said previously, it is a distributed computing over the internet. What are the applications you are developing, and what are the applications you are deploying, and what are the applications you are using from any device? It is connected via through the medium called internet. Without internet, we can't access the cloud computing services, and it is very painful to get the data also or to get the things right. The main medium is need to be have an internet. And one more thing I would like to tell is like in the Salesforce kind of systems, and there is some options called we can have a monthly backup or we can have a weekly backup. Because once we done this one, that button will not be available for 10 to 15 days. So I think it's an twice in a week we can have a backup. So we can have a manual backup of the data. So whatever the data related to the objects, and we can store it in our local system for a safer side, apart from the cloud.
So the backup will be done. It will not be done automatically. It will not be automated, or it is kind of a manual process to do the backup.
It is an automatic, but you have to just configure the settings, and there will be some certain time, there's certain duration of the time will be there for how when we can back up. So we just click on the button, remaining thing, or all will happen automatically. Yeah. And the main advantages are like the characteristics I can say it is a remotely hosted. Services or the data are hosted on remote infrastructure. Like what are the services like if you're accessing if you want to access something as a service like a software as a services or if you want to access a platform, there is a platform which was defined and you can have your native language and you can go and develop there. And if you want to access the storage and the server systems, like if you want to host any application on particular server, and if you want to buy any storage like as an Amazon S3 is in storage servers, and Amazon EWS and Amazon EC2. These are all the different kinds of platform services and the infrastructure services, which they'll provide the services remotely. And the Microsoft Azure Cloud, which you can have your own native language and you can develop your own things, and the Google App Engine and everything, whatever the language you need, or else if they provide some other languages, you can also develop using those kind of resources. And the ubiquitous is like services and the data available from anywhere in the sense like what are the kinds of system it is, we can access the application from anywhere. Commodified, and the result is the utility computing model similar to the traditional utilities like gas and electricity. You pay for what you want, like how much you are using and for what for them you are paying. And it is an typical. I'll show a bigger screen for this one. Yeah, if you see this one, infrastructure as a services. Infrastructure as a services is nothing but an server maintenance and the storage capacity what the other systems are providing to host their applications and use their applications. And the platform as a services. Platform as a services like business services, IT services, and the community services. And on top of an certain platform, they're going to build and hosting their applications.
Hmm.
And the
I'm not able to see.
sorry.
I'm not able to see your screen. Your screen is blank.
Oh, one second, one second. Now,
Yeah, now I'm able to.
okay. So this is the infrastructure as a service and the platform as a service and the service value units like it's a SaaS. What are the software as a service you are using? You are connecting with the single tenant with the systems or in the mobiles or with the iPads, everything. You can access the application and you can do. And this is one more. I think this is the way slide. Sorry. This is the way title. This is how it looks like the cloud computing or the store. This one. These are the servers and this is the computer network and these are the applications and these are again the storage and the databases. So everything here is in connect distributed and connecting via the network. Shared pool of configurable computing resources. Like whatever the resources are there, you can share those resources and you can use your computing and you can deploy your applications. On-demand network access and the provision by the service provider. And these are all things which will be hosted by the service provider and they will give the access to this one. And I think you can heard one of the applications recently, this Oracle Fusion. Have
Sir,
you- uh,
sorry.
Oracle Fusion, have you heard about this one? Oracle
No,
Fusion or Talio. And these are also the patch services which are provided by the Oracle system, and those are all hosted in the private clouds. So they for the private clouds they are very restricted. So the data can't be accessed from like you have an access to the data, but you cannot create or if you want to create some new fields or if you want to go for some deployments, you need to contact the support center. So they'll do the process on behalf of us, and
Oh,
that is how the difference will be there. While Salesforce is a public cloud, like you can host your application, you can start building your application, you can deploy yourself. But whereas in the some other applications, it is not like that. For example, it is like
so if,
sorry.
sorry, sorry. So if it is a private cloud, then the person Salesforce only can deploy in their cloud, and we cannot do any deployment from our own enterprise, right?
Yes. That too, it
Okay.
depends upon the limitations what the organization is buying and what are the features they're using there. And these are some of the common characteristics of the cloud computing. Like it is a massive scale approach. Like you can easily scale up to the level what you want. If you want more number of resources, you can pay and you can use more number of resources. And the computing purpose and whatever the different kinds of the resources they are providing, you can use all the resources. And it is a geographic distribution. The geographic distribution is nothing but yeah, wherever the systems are located and wherever the application is located. I think there is no issue wherever it is located. You can access the system and you can deploy. You can view the system there and on-demand self-services. And here, one more thing, I'll little bit explain about the types of cloud. And here there are four kinds of cloud here, like private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, community cloud. These are the different types of clouds for each and every system are providing to host their applications. And with the, I'll just give you a brief definition. Like With cloud computing technologies, large pools of resources can be connected in together in many ways. This technology simplifies the infrastructure planning and provides the dynamically scalable infrastructure for cloud-based applications, data, and the file storage. Business can choose the deploy applications on public cloud or private cloud or hybrid cloud or the newer community cloud. So this means like whatever the whatever the infrastructure cost and whatever the software setup cost is currently occurring currently using by the systems and all these things, you can just skip all those costs and you can just access from the user based URLs to access the system and you can start doing your work. And depending upon the organization, work nature, and the location and its infrastructure, we can choose the one of the following types of the cloud computing. Like what are the need for them and what are the available resources needed for them. So one is a private, second one is a public, third one is in hybrid, fourth one is in community cloud.
So what would be the most of the enterprise Salesforce would be? It would be a private cloud, right?
No, no, Salesforce Enterprise is in public cloud only.
No, I mean when companies buy Salesforce cloud, so that would be most of the time it would be a private cloud, right? It will not be a public cloud, right?
No, no, Salesforce itself it offers a public cloud.
Okay, yeah, I understand that Salesforce offers a public cloud, but if a company is purchasing Salesforce
Yes, yes,
application,
I understand. What of the Salesforce, they're going to buy the application, it is a private cloud only. And it is their one-on-one communication, like what are the resources they need to buy, and it will interact with those resources only. It won't interact with other resources.
okay.
Yeah, and these are the examples of the leading public clouds in the market, like Amazon Web Services and the Microsoft Windows Azure and the Google App Engine. And what are the advantages? Like this one is free or offered on a paper usage model, easy and inexpensive setup, and no wasted resources because you pay for what only you use. Like for these kind of resources, like for the Google App Engines and all thing, and we are using one of the feature from the Google Google Drive from the Gmail. I think
Oh,
everyone uses this one. This is an public cloud which where we are storing the data, and ourselves we can have and create and the read and the edit permissions. For example, when we share a data from the Google Drive, you can set up the permissions like what are the user can do. I think you
yeah.
are, yeah, that is all the public cloud. These kind of features in the public cloud it will offer, and in the public cloud network, it is a service provider makes resources such as applications and storage available to the general public over to the network. The mainly the thing is like if you want to store any data, this public cloud is always available. And anyone who has a Facebook page, a Google or Gmail account, any one of hundreds of the other internet users like uses the public cloud. And the disadvantages is like mainly the in the cloud resources, the disadvantage is like data security and the privacy issues. uh, for example, I have shown you different kinds of servers. For in the Salesforce instances, like we can know like from which server we are accessing and application, and we know that in this server our data is stored. But in the public cloud, like we don't know this where the data is stored. If something data is stolen also, like we are not responsible for those things. And what are the resource provider is there, they are responsible for those things like data security and the privacy issues. You may not know where your data is stored or if it is how it is backed up or whether the access is given to the unauthorized users. And the reliability, I think you know this one. Community cloud is like for mainly the business purposes, like when a group of companies or a multiple projects want to have their applications hosted in a cloud environment. So here we goes for the community cloud. So for example, if a company having an partner company as well as in child and subsidiary companies. For example, I can say GE is a parent company. In this GE, there are so many subsidiaries are there. For aviation itself, there are several engine models subsidiaries are there. For example, the Honda and the CFM International, the Engine Alliances, there are so many subsidiary companies are there. So if they want to set up an application, and if they want to if they want to develop their application in a single platform using all the cloud resources, then it will be preferable for a community cloud. This is the basic definition is like the design for the business and organizations working on the joint projects, applications, or research, which requires a central cloud computing facility for building and managing, executing such projects. And the private cloud. Yeah, private
Yeah.
cloud is like an one-to-one on interaction, like more security and the most control over the data. And disadvantages like it is the most expensive type of the cloud computing, more support operations and employees are required, complexity in the implementations. Like in the VMware, this is then a simple example how this VMware will be connected with the different systems. Uh, Most private clouds are structured and already made solutions offered by many vendors such as Microsoft, VMware, and the Citrix. And these are the current market solutions what they are providing. And hybrid cloud is a feature, and it is an I think in market there are very less number of companies using this one. It is a mix of the private cloud, that means mix of the data security and the scalability features of the public cloud. So it is a mix of the both of the private and the public cloud. So what are the data they are accessing, they need something, some data needs to be controlled over them, or something it needs to be in a public cloud, it should be in a public cloud. It is a mix. And these are the types of cloud in which we are having. And again, coming back to this one, and these are the cloud service models. Cloud service models are like divided into three kinds of cloud service models. On top of the cloud, different types of cloud on the private cloud, public cloud, and what are the different kinds of cloud services are there. There are different service models which are defined to provide the services to the users, like as an infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. If you see, like coming to this one, infrastructure as a service, Amazon and the Rackspace hosting. Like if you want to start a new business, and if you want to don't want to set up something like don't want to buy a storage capacity, or if you don't want to interact with any Oracle DB or the SQL DBA, you just go for an Amazon Rackspace, and their pay per use the model is there. And if you want to get an 100 GB of data, they'll charge you some particular amount for some period of time, and you can get the data and you can store your data on those space and in this one. And the Amazon Web Services is also the same thing. And what are the data storage, like infrastructure as a services, run processing, storage, network capacity, and the computing resources. And the Google App Engine and the my Windows Azure Cloud is like a platform as a services. You can deploy customer created applications. Like here also you can use the storage provided by the storage in the server area provided by the Windows Azure and the Google App Engine. So here it is an combination of again this one PaaS and IaaS. So you can consume the resources, and the platform is like you can develop your application, your native application, which is helpful to the end users, and you can deploy in the over the internet. So that's how the PaaS is defined. And here in the Salesforce.com, Force.com is a PaaS and Salesforce is a SaaS. So it's a mix of combination of the PaaS and the SaaS platform for the Salesforce. And software as a service is like software as a service is a Salesforce ARM and the Lotus Live. Here you can have in provider applications. Like I think you can have you have some knowledge regarding the Salesforce CRM. Like whatever the applications we are building, each one you can deploy over the cloud, and the users itself they are using by using the cloud resources. That's how it is defined, SaaS models. And here is it is an one more example of a SaaS maturity model. Like there are several instances. You can see different diagrams: one, two, three, four, and the instance one, the tenant one, instance two, tenant two. At how custom one instance per customer, configurable per customer, configurable and multi-tenant efficient, scalable, configurable and multi-tenant efficient. This is the tenant load balancer. This is the fourth diagram, like scalable, configurable, and multi-tenant efficient. Like if you are several number of using a single architecture, you can say it is a multi-tenant architecture, multi-tenant platform. In other words, this multi-tenant platform is like in whatever the resources are there, you are sharing those resources across the medium. For example, in your system, if you are having for example, in Salesforce itself, whatever the limits are there, you are sharing across the users for using those limits. For example, for creation of objects, there is a limit. For workflows, there is a limit. For writing an Apex code, there is a limit. Otherwise, if it is in distributed computing, if you are giving so many permissions, like the way of the people where how they develop the applications, it will be very complex and it will be very stringent like kind of thing. So in the multi-tenant architecture systems, the limit is very important. So the whatever the user access will be in a limit wise. And the next slide is then just an example of the application services. Is a SaaS, like whatever the application services are there, and the application platform, and it is an PaaS. It is provided by the Force.com and all these things, and the server platform and the storage platform. And these are nothing but the IaaS and the Amazon S3 and the Dell, Apple, Salesforce, GoGrid, and everything. They are providing the server storages and as well as the storages to store the data. I think this is the slide we covered clearly. No need to know in terms of underlying details of infrastructure applications and the interface with the infrastructure via the APIs. The flexibility and the elasticity allows the system to scale up and down at will. For example, the flexibility and the elasticity in the sense, it in the terms of the Salesforce, if you want to only use some group of custom objects, and if you don't want to any workflow rules on top of it, like you can go for a group edition, uh, or else if you want to use this very extensive features from the Salesforce, what are the features all it provided, so you can have an unlimited edition. Otherwise, if you want to just cut down some features, and if you want to use more than the moderate features what it is Salesforce is providing, so you can go for an enterprise edition. So that's how this elasticity of the resources, like whatever the resources you need to use, you can pay for those resources and you can get those resources and you can build your application on top of the resources. That is what is the flexibility and elasticity it means.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is also, these are the transparent user applications. And this SaaS model is like, SaaS model is a software deployment where application is hosted as a service provided to customers across the internet. SaaS all elevates this burden of the software maintenance and support, but users relinquish control over software versions and the requirements. And the other two terms which I discussed is like platform as a service and the infrastructure as a service.
Okay.
Yeah, and what is the purpose and what are the benefits when we are using this one? And again, the same thing, it will come into the pictures, like cloud computing enables the companies and applications which are in the system infrastructure dependent to be infrastructure less. It is mainly nothing but an infrastructure infrastructure independent means like you can just like for example, one more thing I can give you an example. I think you can heard about this Flipkart and Amazon. They're conducting a big billion days and all these things, and at the time there are more number of
Sorry, I didn't get that.
in Flipkart. Have you heard about the site, e-commerce site?
But yeah, I have heard about that, but never used. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It is an e-commerce site like an same thing like an Amazon. What you are using there. In India, they're doing some big billion days and all these things. Big billion days in the sense that they are selling their products in a vast discounts and all these things for a 1 day sale. So at the time, they expect more number of users to be purchased from the production. So how they manage this on this 1 day of the resources, like there is a concept called commodity servers. This commodity servers, what they'll do is like, what is the applications you have developed, they'll just plug in your applications to they just host your application into this particular servers. So what are the number of hits occurred on the day? It won't affect. Otherwise, the application itself won't crash. I
Oh,
think.
it's kind of a plugin for that 1 day. Then they will
Yes, yes. And these are all.
remove the service. Then.
Yes, yes, yes. And these kind of services we can
Okay.
achieve through the cloud computing. So for 1 day, what are the services they needed? They'll tie up with the companies and they'll provide uh, they will give access to this one. And after the whatever the service has been over, and they can remove their plugins and all these things. And that's why it is,
Okay.
I told, like infrastructure independent, and it is an how with the storage and all this, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool feature.
And these are some commercial cloud offerings like Amazon Web Services, Amazon Elastic Computing Cloud, GoGrid, and the Power of the Network, Rio, Zoinet, and these are different kinds of, and which they are providing in different kinds of clouds like public cloud, private clouds, and all these things. And this summary of this, like whatever the companies which are providing on this one, I think I'll zoom a little bit for this slide. You can see this one for the storage infrastructure
Yeah, I can see,
services.
but it is pretty pretty small.
Oh, okay, one second. Otherwise, I'll after this session I'll forward this to you. You can have a look on this one. What are the different kinds of companies for the infrastructure services, different kinds of services, storaging, computing, service management, and the cloud softwares, data, computing, cloud management, appliances, file storage, and the platform services for the general purpose, for the business intelligence, for the integrations, for the development and testing, for the data, for the database, and the software services like sales, legal, financials, billing, human resources, content management, backup and recovery, CRM, and the document management, collaboration, and the social management, social networks. Like these are the different kinds of clouds, and the different kinds of cloud services on what are the different kinds of companies are providing. For example, this is the area what we are talking now. It is the CRM. CRM is an these are live ops, Microsoft Dynamics, Oracle On Demand, Salesforce.com, right now, and I think you heard about one more tool like ServiceNow. ServiceNow is a
Which
tool.
one? Service? Service
ServiceNow.
Cloud? Yeah, yeah, I have heard about it.
Yeah, ServiceNow is an ticketing tool which is used to onboard the process of the system. Like whatever the incident management currently we are using in the companies, it is just the things are deployed over the cloud. The ticketing tool, like what are the requests you are getting, like Jira, what are the tool you are using, or for the HPALM, whatever you are using, it is just like that of a kind of tool on which on the top of it you can build your instant management and you can provide to your customers as a service.
Oh, okay.
And this is the example of the Amazon's, the cloud and all these things. How the storage will be then. And what is the advantages of the cloud computing? Advantages of cloud computing are like lowered computer costs, improved performance, reduced software costs, instant software updates. Like whenever there is an software update, you there is an maintenance time which is given by the service provider itself. So at the time, that specific time for 10 to 15 minutes, the application will not work, and rest of the time the application will be work. And the reduced software cost is like, what are the software applications you need to buy and set up in our own systems. It will be hosted in other servers, and you can directly access those from the servers. That's how it will be advantageous to the users. Unlimited storage capacity. Here, unlimited storage capacity in the sense, it's again depending upon the usage of the business. Like if you want to go for an limited storage and the limited kind of things, and you can buy the resources. Unlimited storage, like you can buy unlimited storage, and the cost is accordingly varied for the unlimited storage also. And what are the kinds of how much data needs to be stored from your end? You can just pay for those data, and you can use the resources there. And the increase in the data reliability. Unlike the desktop, which a hard disk crashes and the destroy all your valuable data, a computer crashing in the cloud should not affect the storage of your data, because in the cloud itself they are having multiple replica of your data, which on several instances, and they can provide you hosting with the different instances also if something happens, and the geographical disasters also.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah, of course, that
some,
is one of the major advantage of cloud computing.
yeah, and these are again in the disadvantages also, there are something like requires a constant internet connection. Without internet connections, you cannot access the application, or else you cannot just log in into the applications. You cannot view the application itself. So doesn't work with the low speed connections. If something, the bandwidth is not good, the connection system with the this one, the internet and all these things, with the low speed connection, the interface whatever you have developed, it will be in a very messy kind of thing. Like you have placed the buttons in one place, or you have placed the fields in one place. If it is a low bandwidth, this interface will be disturbed, and the features might be limited in the sense.
Oh, so if we switch the layout, does the interface disturb? You mean if we are switching the buttons and the layout, then it will disturb the interface, you
No,
mean?
no, it's not the disturbing the interface. If it is with the low speed connections, like if it's taking a too much loading time.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that part. So I was like,
Okay, okay. And the features might be limited. Like this is the case which we can have in the features might be limited. It's like something, the scalability what the on-premise systems are achieving. Some of the features we cannot achieve through the cloud systems. So that is one of the thing. And the storage data might not be secure. This is the big question mark for everyone. How the data is stored, and how the data stored data can be lost. It is can be or might be. It is not exactly. So when you are purchasing a license from the cloud system, it is the 99.9% they are giving the uptime and the storage availability. So I think there is no issue of storing
but
the
still
data.
there would be a necessity.
Yes,
Sorry, but even if it is stored in cloud, we need a backup on-premise system to have a backup, right?
yes,
So we are still in need of an on-premises application for a backup,
yes.
backing up the cloud data as well.
Yes, 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 it is correct. And in Salesforce also there are some. I told you, no, there is one feature to take your data backup and take your metadata back.
Yeah.
For the metadata backup, like fields and the customizations and what are all the things, like you can go with connect with an host.com applications, and you can host your you can back up your application there. But whereas in the meta application data and the records and everything, yes, we can have in certain options in the Salesforce. We can we can do the backup by this way. And I'll show in the meanwhile, after the course starts, and how to take a backup locally.
Okay.
Yeah, this is about the brief introduction of the cloud computing. I think if you're having any doubts, like you can go ahead and ask.
No, I have been interrupting you all in the middle of the class.
So
I can
it is
wait for
very
the
good,
question.
like it is like very interactive sessions. Otherwise, I keep on saying my end only. It will be very problem for me. If it is an
Yeah, I miss those points by the end of the class. I would forget that what was. I would.
yeah. Actually, this the in the for the admin design for the. Actually, you are opting for both admin and development, right?
Yeah, but yeah, admin would be my first option to go with, and then I would like to go with the developer option because
Okay.
I'm not much familiar with the Java and Apex codes or Apex triggers,
So
what are
I'll
the
take in
patches and
total
everything.
24 days of session for the admin, and at the end of the sessions or in the meanwhile session, if you want, at the end of session, anyway, I'll planning for a sample exam. So how you learned on this one, or otherwise, if you want to go for each and every topic sample kind of exam, we will go accordingly. So I just want to know your opinion, like how it is, how it should be like.
We can, I didn't get that point. Like, we can go with admin session or developer session,
No,
you're
no,
asking?
admin session only. Admin session, I planned for in 24 days of training here. Or else we, if you want to
Oh, okay.
crash, like we can wrap up in 20 days. And after the
Yeah, that would be good.
20 days is better for you. I think so.
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be better for me.
Okay. So
Sooner the better for me.
yeah, yeah. 20 days, I think I'll wrap up in 20 days. And after 20 days, I'll give you some practice sample tests also. So you can have some mock-up sessions or like brain sessions. So you can refresh your knowledge and all things. So from tomorrow
Okay.
onwards, I will create a developer environment for you. Before that one, I'll just introduction about the environment types of environments in the Salesforce and how this will work and what is the use of the environments. And after then, we will proceed into the new applications and how to create your developer organizations and how to play with this developer organization.
Sure, okay. So
Okay.
the other person is also joining tomorrow or
No, actually, I don't know the information about that one. I think I'll confirm with the these organizers, and I'll let you.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So is it possible to start by what's the time now? 7:30 tomorrow so that it will be like 8 o'clock for me.
7:30. Oh, actually,
Is it
so
flexible for you or you want to start only at 7:30? That's fine, but that would be a rush hour for me. Like,
okay. Actually, I'm taking one more session is there. After this one, I have to rush for another session. So I made it for 7:30.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll go with the 7:30 one. Then.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for.
Because now recently the timing changed from CST to the CDT to CST, so it got pulled back 1 hour. So that is why I'm having a huge difference. Or else this class would be at 8:30. That's what I was hoping for.
Okay, okay. So meanwhile, we'll continue 5 to 6 sessions like this one. If you're facing after this one any problem, so we'll plan accordingly that one.
Yeah, okay then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. I think these people will forward PPT to you. You can have a reference
Yeah.
on this PPT. So tomorrow,
About what?
no, no, just the basics of cloud computing. Just what we discussed.
Okay.
Yeah. From tomorrow onwards, we'll move into the Salesforce environment. Like, okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Have a nice day.
Yeah.